Okay, hi everybody. This is the second of my videos on some of my board games. Again, it's just the miniatures that I'm showing you, the painted miniatures. So the next one in this series is the Legend of Drizzt, another Dungeons and Dragons game by Wizards of the Coast. You can play all these games together if you wish, or singly, it's up to you. So without further ado, I shall move on to the first figure, and here we have, I've got to try and pronounce these now, Methyl L. Videnvelp Mindflayer. Christ knows if that's right, but here's the painted figure when it focuses. Again, these are all from the D&D line. And the actual name for this figure is the Mindflayer Telepath. Next we have this guy. I'll just get it on the board, sorry. This is Yacht Slow, Handmaiden of Loss. And here is the painted figure. Again, I believe the name of this one is the Yacht Slow Tempter. Probably not pronouncing that right, but again, the Yacht Slow Tempter. And if I turn the card over, on the back we have the Yacht Slow Handmaiden of Loss, and here she is. Again, okay painted figure, I guess, not too bad. And the actual name of this is the Drow Arachnomancer. So obviously she's in charge of spiders, I presume. So that's that one. Next one is the Shimmer Gloom, the Shadow Dragon. And here he is painted. So it's only a baby dragon really, although it's got adult, it's still small. And the actual name of this is the Adult Purple Dragon. Doesn't appear a lot in the game, but so you can mix all these figures in with the other D&D games if you wish. And then we have the big badass. This is Urtu Balor. Now there's several different figures, versions of this on the internet you can buy, but this is the actual one that's with the game. It's the painted version, so it's quite big, quite difficult to defeat, and it's exactly the same name, Urtu Balor. So if you want him, that's the name you put in on the search on eBay. Nice looking figure. Okay, let's start with some of the heroes. Here we have Athrogate, he's the dwarf, and here he is in all his glory. They're not badly painted, so they only use a couple of colours on their figures really, and a little bit of a wash to give it a bit of depth. And his name is the Dwarf Battle Ranger. Next we have Regis, the Halfling Rogue. Now this figure I've got here, it's a D&D figure, but it's not the exact one that comes with the game, but I thought this one was better, which is why I've done it, because I couldn't find the exact one on eBay. So I had to improvise a bit, and I think this one's pretty good. And he is a Halfling Paladin. Next hero we have Brunor Battlehammer, And here he is. If you're into the D&D miniatures, you probably recognise a lot of these figures, I would have thought. Just trying to get it to focus. There you go. And the name is exactly the same. The name on the card is the name you put in on the search. Next one is the main character of the game. This is Drizzt. And the name is exactly the same for searching. I believe there is another version of this figure. This is the exact one that comes with the game. It's not a very good paint job, I don't think, really, for the main figure. Again, I might repaint over this, touch him up a bit, make him better. Next we have Catty Bree. Now again, I couldn't find this exact figure, so I've had to improvise. I'm going to change this one because I don't like this one. It looked better on eBay than it does in person. As you can see, it's not very good whatsoever. But I will be changing it. It's the only elf I could find really that with a bow, a female elf. And this is the Wood Elf Skirmisher. I say not a very good one. That one will be changed. Next we have Jarlaxle Banery. Again, this is another figure that I couldn't find, so I've had to improvise. It's a Drow mercenary, so I went out and bought a Drow mercenary. It's actually a Drow enforcer. Just trying to get it to focus. There you go. Quite dark, these colours on these Drows, but that's the one I used for that. It's a good substitute. Okay, here we have Artemis Entreri, and this is the figure. Again, this is quite a hard one to find, this one. When I went searching, this was the only one I could find on eBay at the time, and the name is exactly the same. Okay, let's move on to this. This is a hunting drake. Here is the painted figure. Again, there's 3 of these. You have to buy all the ones I've just shown you. There's only one of, but you have to buy 3 of these if you want to buy. And the hunting drake, the actual name of that, if I can find it, is the Bloodseeker Drake. Okay, here we have a Drow Duelist. Again, there's 3 of these in the box. And here is the Drow Duelist. And the actual name for the Drow Duelist is Drow Blade Master. Okay, on to another hero here. This is Wolfcar. And the actual name is the same for the character, and this is him from the D&D line. Okay, here we have, now this is a hard one to pronounce, Gwyn. It's like a panther type figure, and the name is exactly the same for searching for it. Next up we have a Goblin Cutter. These are some of the smallest ones in the game. Again, there's 3 of these, and the name is the same, Goblin Cutter. Here we have Goblin Champion. This one took a little bit of finding, but I managed to get one. As you can see, exactly the same as on the picture. And the Goblin Champion is called Iron Tooth. So if you want him, that's the name you've got to put in. Okay, here we have a spider swarm. Now if you remember on the last video, there was a rat swarm and I showed you the small version. For this one I got the bigger version. This is the spider swarm, a little bit more detail in it. And it is exactly the same. I think it might come under swarm of spiders as well on the search. Now this one, Snort, there wasn't a figure for this in the game, so I'm going to go out and have a look for a boar and get a boar for that. So that's one that I haven't got yet. Next up we have Drizzt. Took me a little while to find this one, but I got him in the end. And here he is, half spider, half man. And the name of this, if you want him, is the Drizzt Fang Lord. Only 4 more to go. Here we have the Goblin Archer. Again, another one of the small figures. And the Goblin Archer is called the Grey Peak Goblin Archer. Next up we have the Water Elemental. Again, 3 of these. And the Water Elemental is the Medium Water Elemental. Next up is the Drow Wizard, which is this guy here. I'm assuming the Drow are something to do with spiders, because there's probably experts out there be able to let me know, but I'm sure there's something to do with the arachnids in the games, D&D world. So this is the Drow Wizard, and I'm just trying to find the name for you. Drow Wizard is the Drow Wand Mage. And finally, another biggish figure is the Feral Troll, and the name is the same. And there he is, in all his glory. So, there you go. That's the figures from the Legend of Drizzt game. I say there's 1 or 2 there I might change. But I'm pretty happy with them, so they look good when you're playing with them on the board. Again, I might turn this game, use Dwarven Forge pieces for this game at some point, to make it stand out a bit more. And again, I'll probably end up using, when I do it that way, Games Workshop figures. So until my next video, which will be the Wrath of Ashardalon, which is the last one of the D&D games that are out at the moment. There is 1 figure in that game that I haven't got yet. I'm just trying to find a suitable figure to replace it. So until then, I probably won't do that one until the weekend, because I've got to work for the next 4 days. So until then, as always, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys on the next video.